Okay, Muhammad says, Sheikh, my college has banned hijab because of interim orders from the High Court of Karnataka in India due to hijab row, which took place recently. After 2 days, we've got exams and they won't allow girls to sit in the exam hall with hijab. Girls who go to a co-education schools and colleges are facing this problem of hijab because if they study in all girls institutions, it wouldn't be a problem to sit in schools and colleges without the hijab. Kindly advise. I think we've talked about this before, and hijab is mandated by Allah. You don't need a high court to permit you to wear it or not. But as a Muslimah, you have to comply with Allah's orders. So if Allah tells you to pray and the high court says you don't pray, who will you follow? If Allah mandates that you wear the hijab and cover yourself, and the high courts say, no, you can't do that, you have to take your hijab off, who will you obey? This is the crossroad. This is the fork of the road where you have to decide and choose whether you want to go to Jannah, which means that you have to follow Allah's commands and orders, or you'd rather take your chances and go for Duniya, disobeying Allah Azza wa Jal. And it is actually a no-brainer. But unfortunately, people are so distant from Sharia, from the Quran, from the Sunnah. And all what they think of is worldly matters rather than what pleases Allah and what Allah wants of them. In some European countries, I see that Muslims who send their children to public schools, in the Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, whatever. If they force your children to take off their clothes, would you still say, what can we do, Sheikh? They have to study, they have to learn, etc., blah, blah, blah. This is problem, a big problem. You have to choose between Islam and obeying the system. And you know that obeying the system would cause to destroy your Islam and your children's faith. How is it possible that a man allows his boys to go to mixed schools when they're 15 or 16 years of age, in the prime of their youth, and have physical education classes with the opposite gender, sharing the same swimming pool, maybe playing games, water polo or whatever they call it, boys and girls? How do you allow your girls to go to such schools? And then you say, what can we do, Sheikh? This is a system. For education, we have to, for the sake of education. What do you mean for the sake of education? As if you're going for jihad. It's for the sake of Allah. What are you doing? So here is where you come to a crossroad. You want Jannah or you want this dunya? You want this dunya. Then don't come crying to me after a few years saying that, Sheikh, my daughter ran away with her boyfriend and she's living with him in haram relationship. Or even worse, my son is LGBTQ plus. Now he's out of the closet and he has a boyfriend and they've been living together and they're planning to get married. Don't come to me. crying and say, what do I do? This is what you sow, and this is what you harvest. So you have to make a choice, Akhi. And also, Muhammad, our daughters and sisters have to make a choice. Do they choose Islam over anything else? Or they just, like cows, follow the system in haram things? This is a very critical point they have to decide. What if they take their hijab and take their exams? Next year, they say, well, you have to wear short sleeves and expose your neck and some of your cleavage, or maybe come in a bikini. You never know. Will it ever end? The humiliation, the oppression of Muslims? You never know where it will end. We've seen in these Scandinavian countries and some European countries where they're abducting. The authorities are taking the children away from their families, especially Muslim families. And they allege that they're mistreating their own children, as if these disbelievers, these kafirs, take care of our children more than us. So they look for any reason and they just take your children away and they confiscate them, probably giving them to Christian families to raise them up as Christians. What are you going to do? Till when are you going to be oppressed and accept to be treated like doormats? You brought this to yourself. You went to them, seeking their benefits, seeking their standard of living. So, c'est la vie.